Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors may have protected rising star in Nets trade to acquire Jimmy Butler. The Golden State Warriors parted with injured guard to Anthony Melton and a handful of second-round picks on Saturday to acquire Brooklyn Nets Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder is an effective backcourt player but was not the lone Nets player Golden State seemingly had interest in, although forward Cam Johnson was also reportedly on their radar. He was not included in the trade due to the Warriors needing to part with Jonathan Kuminga to land him to acquire both Schroeder and Cam Johnson from the Nets, as league sources say was also weighed by the Warriors almost certainly would have required them to surrender Jonathan Kuminga. Mark Stein and Jake Fizer reported the Warriors' unwillingness to cut ties with Kuminga likely means there's a star. The front office has their eyes on the most rumored star on the market is Miami Heat's Jimmy Butler. Not only his but the Warriors are also one of the four reported teams that he prefers to land with alongside the Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets and Phoenix Suns. Kuminga is one of the most valuable assets on the Warriors roster, and Golden State is aware of this after playing in the second unit for an extended period of time. The 22-year-old rejoined the starting lineup on November 27. The hope is seemingly to inflate Kuminga's numbers enough to allow him to be the center of a package for Butler. A six-time All-Star is now officially on the trade market a week after reports were floating around that the Dallas Mavericks were among some teams sniffing around a potential trade with the Miami Heat for Jimmy Butler. Miami is now reportedly listening to offers according to ESPN Shams Chanaya. The Heat are open to listening to offers for Butler and making a deal if the proposal is right, league sources told ESPN, and Butler's agent Benny Lee has indicated in league circles that Butler is open to destinations such as two of the Texas teams, Houston Rockets and Dallas Mavericks, and the Golden State Warriors. Chirania would later continue. Butler is a native of Houston, Texas above all, though he is believed to prefer a win-now title contender in any trade. Teams have also been informed that Butler intends to opt out of his deal in the off-season and become a free agent. Sources said the Heat have hovered around the play-in tournament over the last two seasons, and with Butler's contractual status they have been open-minded to trade inquiries. Any trade between the Mavericks and Miami would be tough to negotiate for them to land Butler this season with his current price tag of nearly $48.9 million. Dallas would not make Luka Doncic or Kyrie Irving available obviously, but their three next highest paid players are Klay Thompson $15.8 million, PJ Washington $15.5 million and Daniel Gafford $13.4 million, who still come up $4 million short of Butler's contract. Washington seems unlikely to be placed in any trade talks for the maths given how instrumental he's been to the team's success since they acquired him at last year's trade deadline. The same goes for Gafford, who gives Dallas a great center duo alongside Derek Lively too. Klay Thompson could become available in the off-season if his struggles continue, but it would be surprising to see them move him during the season. Dallas would probably like to include Maxi Kerr's $1 million salary in a trade like this, but it still puts them far away from getting to Butler's contract. Making any trade for Butler the season doesn't make sense contractually, and even less so when you consider the chemistry the team has built with how well they're playing. Butler is averaging 19.0 ppg, 5.4 rpg and 4.8 apg this season, his lowest scoring output since the 2018-9 season with the Philadelphia 76ers. He's now 35 years old and hasn't played 65 games, the cutoff rewards such as all NBA teams since that 2018-9 season, or made an All-Star game since 2022. The Rockets or Warriors could make more sense if a move is made during the season, as both of those teams have a lot of depth and a willingness to add a star to their lineup. Houston could offer Steven Adams, Dillon Brooks and first-round pick Reed Shepherd to match Butler's salary, while Golden State could offer Andrew Wiggins to Anthony Melton, Jonathan Kuminga and Lindy Waters III, and be in the ballpark for Dallas to have any chance of acquiring Butler. It would almost have to be during the next off-season FN when he opts out of his player option for next season. Stephen Curry status for Mavericks. Warriors as the Dallas Mavericks will take on the Golden State Warriors on Sunday night. But one of the biggest stars in the NBA was questionable for this matchup. Stephen Curry entered Sunday on the injury report with inflammation in his neck. He has been upgraded to available against the Mavericks. Dallas is looking to avenge the 120-17 loss they suffered to the Warriors on November 12, a game Curry took over late by scoring 12 points in the final few minutes. Curry has averaged 22.8 ppg and 6.5 apg while shooting for 41.3% from three-point range this season. With Curry available, we'll see another matchup between him and his former Splash brother Klay Thompson, who is making his second return to San Francisco since signing with the Mavs over the off-season. In the first game in November, Thompson had one of his best games of the season, scoring a season-high 22 points. Andrew Wiggins, who was also listed as questionable with thigh tightness, has also been upgraded to available for this game. He'll likely have the main responsibility for guarding Luka Doncic. Neither of these teams has played since losing in the NBA Cup earlier in the week, with the Mavericks losing to the OKC Thunder on Tuesday and their Warriors losing to the Rockets on Wednesday. Pelicans megastar linked to Warriors as low-risk trade target. The Golden State Warriors have been tied to one New Orleans Pelican star. They can form another Big Four with elect Pelicans forward Zion Williamson was named by ESPN's Bobby Marks as an all-star talent that the Warriors could make a play for without risking too much, saying hat tip NBC Sports Bay Area's When Ruiz. Now Zion is interesting here just because he is injured right now and we don't know when he is coming back. Mark said for him to be on the court, that's how you can get the most value for him, either in a trade or with the Pelicans. I've always circled Golden State, who would be certainly the team there for Zion on his best day. Williamson performs like a true superstar in the league. He put that on display in his second and fourth season in the league, where he put up over 26 points and 7 rebounds per game on over 60% shooting from the field in each of those two campaigns. Injuries have robbed the Duke University product of truly imposing his will on the court, as he's played in 166 of a possible 344 games dating back to the 2020-21 season. No matter when healthy, Williamson is a generational talent with dominant scoring ability as a perennial contender to lead the league in points in the paint per year and a talented distributor, averaging 4.2 assists per contest for his career. The Warriors have an abundance of young talent they can offer to the Pelicans in exchange for the two-time All-Star, including Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podmke, who have both seen their names float in trade rumors thus far, as well as Moses Moody. Golden State also has draft capital to expend, including 6 first-rounders and 4 second-rounders between 2025 and 2031. The biggest variable that the Warriors would have to consider is how many games they would get out of Williamson. If he can stay healthy, the Dubs would instantly re-emerge as title favorites. If not, he would only worsen the team's injury vulnerability at the top of their proverbial food chain, with superstar Stephen Curry liable to suffer injuries to his lower extremities annually. No matter, Williamson's breathtaking talent makes him a name to watch as the trade deadline nears. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Zion Williamson? Leave your opinion in their comments.